Yeah, he was coming in.
Listen, I'm walking in this meeting, it looks like I need to be called, later season. All right, see you.
We live. We live. All right, this is a regular monthly meeting of the Board of Public Utilities. Call a meeting to order. Following the agenda, we would ask for approval of the minutes of the October 16th, 2025 regular meeting. I think you have them there in front of you, if you haven't already read them.
So move.
Okay. Motion from Steve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, second from Bruce. Thank you very much. All right, financial statement, review. So looking at the water budget tracking system, at the period of October 31st, we are continue to be a little bit ahead of budget in the operating revenue, and still have the grant revenue that we received. So our revenue is holding very well according to budget there. In the expenditures, I didn't see anything that was out of order or a large expenditure particularly. So we're on the total expenses are $483,600 through October 31st against a budget of $614,000. So we're doing well in the water with our expenditures and our revenue. Moving on over to the sewer. Sewer is also, the revenue is slightly ahead of the budgeted amount at 260 versus 250. So it gives us 292,000 for the year to date so far against the budget of 274. Expenditures, we've got maintenance and repairs is of course always a unknown, and it's at about 73,000 since year to date with a budget of 36 year to date. So hopefully that'll catch back up. But again, with maintenance, we don't know what's going to blow and break, so it makes it difficult. So total expenditure is 320,000 against the budget of 381. So we're still almost at a break even with a loss of $28,000. So I'd say for the sewer and the water, that's a very good position to be in right now. On the October trial balance report, you'll see up in the corner there that October last year we were at $1.9 million, and this year we're at 960,000 in the cash balance. We have had a lot of project work that we've been working on, and we've been funding various aspects of it out of cash. And we will maybe talk about that a little bit more here as we get deeper into the meeting. So because finances are holding and continue to look good there. So, all right, on project status update, the lagoon liner replacement system is continuing to move forward. As we mentioned, I think last month, one of the lagoons is completed. The second lagoon is in the process of being completed. And how far along are we? We about done or?
It's already dipped out and desludged, and December 1st, they're coming in to stick the lines.
Okay. So it's totally desludged and ready for the liner then. That's good then. Okay, all right. And then on the influent lift station, I think
We're running it, everyone's doing good.
it's operating and, is there any other work we gotta do with, is Travis still on site?
Yeah, they're just doing a little odds and ends, finishing up some of the seams and perlation, and I think the fence is up, all of it.
Yeah. So. Okay. Is there any other active projects we got going on or anything right now?
What do we got? It's like that. The lagoons, that was going. As for us, nothing major at the moment.
Nothing major, no, okay.
Water.
Oh, wait, no, I do. I got the filter media going.
Filter media, okay, yeah.
We got one filter done and we're working on a second one now.
So will that,
When's the last time it's changed?
I don't know that.
Well, I mean, we're operating in a different regime. We have.
I mean, it was, brand new, it would soon be done.
Good.
so that'll get filter housed?
We'll have two filters done by first of next week. We got one done right now. They've got the other one shut down and cleaning. And we should have it up and going Monday. And then they'll do two more after Thanksgiving. And then it'll be all up.
So. An update on the water waste treatment plant. I've got Chad's note up here, let me read that.
That's with Travis and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I got it too.
So the last tie-ins were done, we previously reported this September 19th. So they're completing the final site demo, restoration fencing and punch list items at the time. So we've got a draft of the final contract change order for the project. I don't think I've seen that. We are awaiting the final invoice for the completed items or waste retainage. So that's really cool to get the end of that slog. And
We have
that's second to getting the release of the agreed order.
Right.
Back, they sent that
the
early.
release order is already
Yeah.
done.
That's been about 3 months ago.
Yeah.
They gave us the end of that before we ever did the final time.
Yeah.
Right. The Steve mentioned the cash flow differences between the 1,000,009 and the 900,000. And the influence lift station has cost us considerable amount of cash. And we still have and I have seen a couple of emails from Brian Veneman recently, trying to see where we are and what's going on there, to maybe start trying to resolve the final issues with the bonding company and all of that, and hopefully get us more cash back. But I don't know that how much or what, but of that will come back to us. And then also the cost is impacted us quite significantly but we got a good operating unit, and it'll last 50 years, hopefully, so without a whole lot of maintenance. But it has hit us on the cash side recently. So and
Do we had
And then-
any kind of opportunity to, I mean, we're submitting those costs right on an ongoing basis to the bonding company or?
I don't know that we're submitted to the bonding company, we're accumulating them, I know that Steve and provided, and we'll have them to provide
Okay.
to. Like I say, the attorneys.
It's been an ongoing dialogue, and so when we get ready to do something, we talk to Beeman, he makes the bond council aware of it. And then they look at it and give everybody a chance to gather the data, and so. I've got to be honest with you, I don't know exactly what I mean, this has been a process. We're gonna be out, well, we won't be out, but we could be out, depends on how it all settles up. We have a specialized construction council who's going through this, and we're giving them opportunity to reconcile and make plenty of comments, so everything's gone through the process.
Okay.
Now, what I don't understand is where we get the final basis on this, and how about all that works. But, you know, a lot of damage that would occur has stuff been in storage. Sending pumps back to be recertified, and all that has been carefully documented. As different type of damage was done because the project wasn't executed in a timely fashion. And so it's been a heck of a process, been a lot of detail on that. And I feel pretty good that we've done everything we can to make sure everybody's been adequately aware. Now, what I don't know, and I probably need to take special care to be ready to brief everyone next month, is where we are. You know, how does the process resolve itself, and how do you get to the end of it? I think at the end of the day, I mean, you award a project to a local contractor and you don't execute this plan, there's gonna be extra cost added. And so the city will invariably wind up not as financially as if that thing is executed properly, but the time delay and all the extra added efforts in bond council, but we'll just have to see how that's all resolved at the end. I don't know, we wind up with whether we wind up at a point we finally just drop the balance and negotiate at the end of it, or when you push it to get an equitable solution everybody can deal with, whether that's a resolution or whether, you know, just or do we wind up having to go to court. So Greg has kind of refereed that a little bit, but the bond council being been handling that. Greg Crow's kind of been monitoring the legalese of it, being able to explain. Kind of like when your in-house guy works with the contractor to make sure that everything, all the services provide properly done. So be more on that, and it's been a while coming, and I don't know. I mean, do you have a feel for? You think it's going to be done in this month? These things that Chad was talking about, the fence and the final punch list.
Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, it should all be done. Like I say, it's probably 98% right now.
Yeah. So that was an update as of the 20th. So
What a. Who is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I saw, man,
Because there was an email with the punch list or
they
something.
sent by the I don't know that I've seen the punch list, but
I wonder what it was.
it's nickel and dime stuff.
Yeah, it's just no stuff.
yeah.
Everything banking is taken care of.
Okay. I'm sure exactly where it fits into the agenda at this point, but we'll go ahead and jump to it. Carrie and Bobby have put together a list of things that they feel are items that they do on regular basis with water, is it mostly water?
Yeah.
Customers that need to have and has researched it with other utilities in the area. And they've come up with a punch list here of items that they would like to be able to bill the customers for when they require these items. So Gary or Bobby, which one of you all want to address your list here and what your thinking is?
Well, most of I mean, on the list, I mean, most of them could be, it's for common knowledge or what it says. Obviously, we need to start calling for like a call out after hours, getting a fee on that. And also if there's like things that need to be replaced as clean outs or meter lids and that they broke or whatever. And then there's other things to go on, like if they tampered with things and broken things, and we want to be able to be compensated for all that. And
Currently, we have to take them to court. They're saying it's not worth
yeah,
to take them to court. So we want to establish a fee, so we don't have to go that route with the attorneys and just the headache of it.
If you get a call after hours, that's $100, and then if you shut off or turn off after hours, it's not, or is that 200? You add the
No,
two
no,
together?
No,
This would be one or the other.
Yeah.
and then we have on here like for fire protection lines and stuff to companies and stuff, having a monthly fee, on the size of line that they've got going towards their fire protection. Because that line is open to us,
Right.
and if something happens, that's directly to our mains and stuff. So
Mhm.
that would be something we would have to acknowledge. And almost every utility does that, for their fire protection.
So it's just a maintenance fee, actually.
Yeah, it's just a monthly fee for that service being there.
Right now, there's no charge for the water consumption either.
Yeah, if they use
These charges currently are not in effect, right?
No,
Right, these are proposed.
Yeah. I guess that's goes to the council. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it'll be, since there's a fee, there's a dollar sign in front of the fee. It's gotta go to council, before it can be enacted. And but this is bringing it here and make sure you guys understand what we're asking.
Mhm.
And, hey, listen, your value, your opinion of where you think it is. So on the fire protection connection, just for instance, I'll speak from personal experience. Estron Chemical has two tie-ins. One is to a laboratory building and one is to a process building. And so we pay tie-in fees. That's all that we pay. So even if the sprinklers are activated, usage, there's no meter. So on emergency systems, you don't want to put that line loss in that system. So it's not metered.
Okay, yeah.
So we looked at how many different other systems. Paducah is one I know.
yeah.
Paducah, Beck, check all of them.
Okay, so there is a,
Surrounding.
so if you think about it, that's like a demand charge.
Yeah.
We gotta have, we do, for instance, the process that a sprinkler install does, they'll do a flow test if the hydrant is in question. Then the system has to be capable of doing that, and then they tie in and pay that tie-in fee, and that's the end of the show.
Mhm.
Or that's it currently, and that's not very congruent with what's going on everywhere else.
Mhm.
It's almost like the demand charge on the three-phase power system.
Exactly,
If
right.
I'm gonna maintain this demand for your use, then these are some fees, and where did they stack up versus Paducah? Did we do, are these recommendations the same?
They're roughly the same amount price wise. yes.
Okay.
We might actually be a little cheaper.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
On the fire line installation, what do we do there, Bobby, for that?
That's just
$3,000?
putting that tap in. Shut that
Tap, so it's not.
the customer has to provide everything up to the point of tapping into the water header.
Mhm.
And this is the fee for the utilities department's involvement, providing the fitting too, right?
Yes,
And doing the tap.
Just curious, does this represent like labor and equipment, or it's just a comparison to Benton and Paducah primarily?
you talking about the installation price?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's labor and cost. Okay.
So is that any, what do we charge for a tap on fee for a house currently?
The 1750?
Something like that. There's in-city and out-of-city
Yeah.
rates too.
Okay, so fire line installation, we actually charge fees for that now.
Yes.
And these are the fees that we charge.
Okay.
Now, they depend on what size tap you put in.
Yeah, like
And
for
that's just the
fire line
cost.
fire line installation of 4 inch at $2,000 on this list,
Yeah.
that's what our current rate is.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are fees on this list that we actually charge currently.
Well, these are not new charges.
No,
Okay.
Those are. The fire protection,
The monthly ones are.
the monthly
The
one above
monthly.
it, the 2 inch through 12 inch above it would be, that's a new proposal.
Right.
That we need to talk about. The call after hours for $100, is that,
we currently do not.
Yeah, we don't do that.
we don't do that, so that's new. Sewer clean out, cap replacement, we don't do that. Meter reinstall, we don't do that. That's new. Meter lock cutoff is new,
Mhm.
so that's the penalty. That would be a proposed penalty if somebody tampers with it and cuts it off.
So we don't have to take them.
So they would still pay the $35 fee.
Yes, they would still pay their
The-
delinquency charge. But like, once we put the delinquency charge on there, if they go and cut their lock off,
Then they get
Then-
charged
yes.
100. Okay.
yes.
So
'Cause like
me-
we've had
That's
those-
what I thought you meant.
We've had those ones do that and then it just gets
Yeah.
lost
Still,
and John says it's not worth taking it to court.
Mm.
so meter tampering, we would have to take them to court right now.
Yes,
So that would be a new charge. And we would just add it to the bill and they'd have to pay it or they wouldn't get the water.
right,
Meter tampering with meter damage would be plus the repair.
yes.
Actually, we're proposing taking that into the fee structure. How much will those meters cost? Replacement?
Do it depending on size, but the residential ones, they're probably roughly around $200 for the meter.
Okay. So I'm putting an in out in front of these. So the monthly fee for connections would all be new, and then we run into that section 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Those are current charges. Just to tie in for discussion points, right? And then water shut off, water turn on business hours, that's a new proposal.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be new. After hours, is there a charge for after hours currently?
No,
No, that's new.
And this was in
And in-house testing 40.
What do you call the testing?
like if they request us to check their levels of chlorine or fluoride. or
Oh,
whatever they
okay,
ask.
okay.
Oh, okay, I didn't understand. I thought you were calibrating a flow meter.
No. If they're curious about their in-house results.
Think they're getting too much chlorine
Yeah,
or something?
yeah, if they'd be curious about it, they can request that.
Okay.
Okay. How much of that do we do?
Well. Maybe like 1 or 2 a year. I think that's okay. But
Gotta run a sample on it, right? So
yeah, we got to actually go there, sample it. We'll test it.
Now, this is kind of somewhat related, but did we ever get anything done with TVA on that line?
No, we have not gone back around and negotiated that yet.
Okay.
Same sort of thing.
Same sort of, yeah.
This is in this pile of things.
Right.
So we need to make sure, we're considering recommending a step change on water pricing.
Mhm.
we better have our house in order.
That's
And so,
exactly, yeah, right,
So that's another one of those. That's a good point.
okay.
Sure. You got some of these as businesses and some of them is residential, or they're all, doesn't matter?
What's on it, but. What was you asking?
Are these prices for businesses at one point, or are they the same for residential and business, or do we need an upgrade for businesses, or?
Right, we planned all those the same.
Well, what are your thoughts on that? You think there ought to be a stage tier for businesses?
Didn't even think about that. But,
That depends on the size of the line, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the line size usually delineates that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then you got on the back of that, sprinkler seasonal turn off.
Oh,
So that's something that we're not currently doing, right?
no,
So
well,
they'll have a minimum bill.
yeah, this goes into that inactive thing that people say they have, and, people call and want to be inactive.
Yeah, I
Well, they
understand
don't
that,
charge.
but they don't, but we're not even collecting the meter fee on that, right?
No.
So,
No.
yeah. So we convert that to a minimum charge.
Yeah,
Okay.
and when we go to these sprinklers, like when people want to turn their sprinklers and stuff off, even that, because that minimum bill is not like a normal regular bill.
Mhm.
But yeah, we're trying to just get away from inactive status.
The problem
Right,
is the
right.
system, like in order to not create a bill, we have to take an account to it inactive status. And once it goes to inactive, the meters don't get read.
Right.
Which is a problem because if someone accidentally forgets or goes back and then turns it on, and then we go back and we've got, like if someone comes and turns their sprinklers on, gets new sod or something like that, and then they've used an insane amount of water, and then they get mad at us because we need to charge them for that water. So
Yeah.
it's just like, I don't know, there's a bunch of loopholes that we come into where if something is inactive, it causes problems because it's not being read.
Right, as long as we're maintaining the line and the meter.
Yeah.
There will be a charge on it.
Well. I don't know, we want to get an inactive status or not. So there is, when you have in our software, you can toggle meters inactive. And they don't get read. And, we're reading remotely, and even when you go by, you're in somebody's front yard to look at the house, you can't tell what's going on or not going on there. And, so there's a lot of rooms for some crazy games to
Yeah.
happen, whether it either inadvertently or vertently, however you want to describe it.
Overtly, yeah, yeah.
There's several ways to approach that. And, in this policy, I think goes hand in glove along with the idea that, okay, we're gonna adopt a monthly fee for sprinkler availability. That if the meter's out there and the service is available, there's a certain amount of care and upkeep and concern that has to be taken to make sure it's properly addressed, maintained, and the bills remain in order. And there's been, every year since I've been mayor, there's been not a terrible lot, but a fair number, probably between 5 and 10 cases of shenanigans that rise to my level, and things that just people get caught in honest mistakes sometimes. And you get a turnover of a renter and they turn on the faucet and it works. And they have water and they just never follow up on that. And they found out that the previous renter had cut the lock off and was stealing water, and they had just proliferated it. And that person's gone. And now you're looking at 2 or 3 or 4 months of crazy bills. And that was because whenever it turned over, we did not go pull the meter. And so getting the policies on recognizing when an account changes, we will pull the meters for those things. But when somebody wants to put something on pause and we're just going to turn it off and leave the meter there, and it's simple to cut a lock or simply just twist it off to the races and forget about it, or So, well, I didn't turn it on. I don't know what happened. I mean, you're gonna play those kinds of games. This sweeps up some of that stuff and it
Mhm.
stays consistent with the principle of
Equity, yeah.
if I'm providing capability to sprinkler systems and charging a monthly rate, it keeps it congruent, it keeps that principle as being how we do it.
And they're not paying any sewer costs on that either, so
No.
that minimal bill just on the water is like
Yeah.
$17-18 a month or something. 20?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what happens with sprinklers.
Mhm.
So they're not paying sewer.
So, yeah, and I understand them not wanting, I don't pay sewer on my barn water. But if I've got water there, I ought to be paying something,
Yeah, if it's got something going to it.
yeah. Yeah, sometimes when I see it go way up, I figure out I got something
Yeah.
else going on.
Yeah,
It's there for you
yeah,
if you need
exactly.
the service.
You know, I've got a spigot down there buried about 3 foot in the ground and, leaking at the bottom or it wasn't completely shutting off the spigot.
Yeah, I still need to speak. So.
Yeah, yeah. So you get in a $200 or $300 spigot right there real quick.
Yeah.
Okay,
So do we make a motion to recommend this to the city council? I have a motion.
Ask a question.
Yes.
You were talking about let's look bigger picture. You're talking about the potential for a rate increase or some sort of a step. Do you want to tie them together or go ahead and look at this before we get to that?
I believe we should do it together. Trying to knock it out one at a time. I mean, we've already had a great question on business tier versus residential tier. And this council, we've talked about it offhandedly a few times. In the last, certainly within the last 12 months. And we have a big sensitivity toward people who might be on a fixed income. And we provide water to everybody. And it's a pretty essential thing for life. And there are provisions and have been from time to time. People are afforded some time at superintendent's discretion. Him, Tim, Silas, and so you know who your folks are. Some of them, we're not going to get into being judgmental on personal behavior or whatever, but you certainly want to work with them as best you can, and you want to try to keep those to a minimum because it's a case by case thing and what you're doing, and it's difficult to stay on an even keel, and it takes quite a bit of time, and we still need to come up with some make sure we're doing that in a consistent fashion. And so that's where you would interface with other utilities to see some of their strategies that work, some of that don't, and go like that.
no, the only thought I have on this, if we go ahead and recommend this and the council does it, then we can work this in our projected income before we deal with the rate issue. And I mean, I don't think you're gonna have, about $1 million there, but we still want to have that. So if you move in and you have a rate, you can say, look, we've looked at everything there is to look at, including this, and this is where we're at. So if we need to recommend it, I will make the motion that we recommend it to the council for their review.
But I think Bruce's point to do it in timing in an all-encompassing fashion.
But you may not get your water rate passed,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
and so then you don't get this passed.
Well, I mean, they can modify chicken. They got line item veto capability at the council
Okay,
table.
okay, all
It's not an all or
right.
nothing
I'll
thing.
defer to the mayor. I will
Well,
defer to your
it's one of
judgment.
those things, it'll be a conversation and we can change the things around, but
Yeah.
listen. We don't want to have high water rates here.
Mhm.
The community needs excellent water and they
Mhm.
need to be in the sweet spot. And if we can't produce water, at a rate that's competitive, we need to be considering our efficiencies and things,
Mhm.
like that.
And with the new things that we got last month, I mean, that's a considerable amount of water usage. What was it, 500,000 gallons a month or something? So,
I mean, I can submit this to Bob Miller. that this is a proposal for the council
think-
to
yeah.
approve, and then he could look at these numbers and say, okay, this would generate X
Yeah,
dollars.
he'll need the numbers to go with that. You know, I don't know how many sprinkler systems we've got. I've got no idea, but
I mean, it would add some. I don't know how much I don't know that it'll make a big difference. It'll definitely add some. Yeah.
We got a motion.
Yep, have motion. To submit it to the council, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Yeah, all in favor, say aye.
no,
All right,
And, whatever we come up with Bob and we'll look over it again. Just trying to
Mhm.
knock some of this out. Did we talk about the second page of this yet?
yeah, I just asked
kind
him
of
about
did,
that.
but we
yeah.
didn't know. We got all the way through it.
So this isn't really a price, this is a policy.
Hmm.
No, this is a policy thing.
Okay.
Did you write this up, Karen? What is that word entitlement? Customers not actively using water delivery still receive entitlement and availability, okay.
That because we still have it on.
So
the
even though-
map,
right.
we need it.
Right. Costs are fixed, meaning that they're incurred, whether water's flowing or not. Well, this is talking about this is the principle of demand.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Infrastructure.
The water system infrastructure price. Upon request, cost to support such accounts have constant upkeep and maintenance to ensure safe and reliable drinking water. Have been an ongoing effort for years and maintain a readily available source. When somebody goes and leaves their house. This gets into kind of what, are we on a Zoom meeting? We're live broadcasting, okay. Good, excellent. Well, when you go out and leave your property, for a snowbird vacation or travel, whatever, in cold weather especially, you need to make sure that you shut off your water. And we have people in the city who do not have a water cutoff on the service line. I don't know percentage wise how many do or how many don't. You gonna venture a guess? You think half do?
Maybe.
I encourage everybody to do that. And you need to make sure that, God, now the reason. It's in our regulations now
Yeah,
that the, owner is not supposed to manipulate the valves on the meter set.
Mhm.
And in fact, when people do that, they don't know what they're doing, there's been damage in the past, and that happens every year. So I encourage everyone to make sure they've got a cutoff they can get to. On a personal note, have a cutoff that you can get to from the living quarters of your house would be great. If you can cut off the water as it comes into the upper portions of your house. If you have a crawl space, have a leak, that's bad, but that's still a different level of bad than having water in your house. So, if you go out of town and you're gonna be inactive for some period of time, you're gonna get hit with a minimum bid.
Mhm.
And, in the past, we've had some different practices that some were able to utilize and some didn't. And, is called going inactive, and that was something that was in play. We've not been able to find it anywhere in policy. But inactive basically cancels the minimum bill for whatever time you're gone.
Mhm.
And so we're proposing that we stop that practice for a lot of good reasons. And you get into the minutia of the task. If I'm saying something wrong, Bobby, kick me.
No, you're fine.
You get into the minutia of the task of what it takes to get your remote reading meter. So if one's tagged inactive, you go by the software that doesn't even record a number for it. So if somebody had come home, that's when I was talking earlier about inadvertent, whatever, somebody comes home early and they're using, they forget to notify you.
Right.
Then that water meter never reads. They said, we've been here forever. Haven't you been reading your meter? No. We don't go by in the buggy anymore and flip the tops. We do it electronically. And if that meter is in the inactive status, we're not reading it. We don't have data. So if something happens, if something were to happen, you didn't get your water cut off. This happened at a place near my son's house in Louisville. Had some extraordinarily cold weather. I think it was over Thanksgiving break, and the water in the house across the street had ruptured, and became aware of it when it was overflowing the ground floor out the front door.
Mhm.
And that house had a basement in it. And it was they gutted the whole thing, you know, and so that sort of stuff you got to take care of. But if that meter's inactive, we wouldn't even be able to capture that, hey, that meter went from a normal reading to 10 times. You just don't have any data.
Mhm.
And so it creates a lot of issues. And again, the principle would be that the water is there to use, the water is maintained to be used. So on the water side of the equation, nothing changed. So that's the recommendation from Bobby to us, to me, to this board. I wonder what y'all think about that.
Help me understand when you say the meter is inactive. How do you define that? It's actually turned off somehow or?
Remotely it is.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay,
It just will not send a message to pick it up.
gotcha, okay. I didn't
So the
know if
meter
it was
read-
physically
the meter read
inactive.
is-
You're saying it's
But the meter's still
switched
working,
to, yeah, you're saying
they
it's
haven't-
switched to inactive, so it's in a status. Got
but
it.
we won't ever know unless we're reported
Yeah,
back.
it
there.
stops the billing process.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha, thank you.
But you have to actually go out there and physically turn it to inactive, right?
No, they do a computerized on inactive.
They do?
I mean, we
Oh,
can shut
okay.
the meter off.
Okay. So you can do that from the office then?
Yeah, when you set it inactive,
Yes.
it's,
Yeah, I can go make you inactive right now, Dan.
yeah,
But the meter may not be shut off, but it's just
right.
inactive.
If they
Yeah,
put it on
that's a bad
inactive,
thing there.
it's still on, it's gonna register, but it
That's a
won't,
bad
we
thing.
can't pick it up.
Yeah.
Just didn't want to get it, like you said earlier, people playing games with, well, it was inactive for 29 days,
Yes.
but not 30, you know,
Mhm.
we don't need that kind of thing.
Well, you could, and I think different utilities at different times, you know, you could say, okay, you're gonna go inactive, I'll charge you a fee, throw a lock in your valve. And then you come, you know, you've been on a trip back and you need water, you just hit the door. You need water, you didn't call ahead of time, you can do $100 charge, wait for them to come out and do it then. Or you wait till the next day and have it cut off, or you can just get and we've had cases of this, and what,
We gotta put a
I
lock.
can't help it. We probably shouldn't say, but we're gonna go ahead. It's too much fun. So somebody cut the lock off and left them a brand new lock in the package and a $10 bill to make up for what he thought was a fair cost of him cutting it off. I don't know what year that was, but so you have all kinds of shenanigans that can be played there. And you know, for there's probably half the houses out there, I don't know if that number's accurate or not, that don't have a cutoff on their service meter other than the one at the meter. And that's something that the homeowners really need to reconcile. And
So there's a percentage of if there are half that have them, I'd say there's half of that half that don't know where they are.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
If you bought a house or
Yeah.
renting a house, I mean, well, there's a lot of people that would
Well,
not
I had
know
a
where that
lady
is.
tell me she was gonna be gone and she didn't know where the cutoff was, but she had moved from where she had previously lived to another location and she didn't even know where to cut off her water period, so.
so when you've been working on the dishwasher and you're laying in the floor with your finger on the hose and you're trying to convince someone in your family to go hit the water cut off and they get a big that's why we do annual training in the Colburn household now. That's a bad position to be in, prone underneath the dishwasher.
I've actually been guilty of going down and exercising my valve because those valves, you know, if you don't use them, they get kind of hard to turn a ball valve.
Oh, yeah.
And so I actually exercise mine. I try to do it about once a year.
Yes, yeah, that's good.
It's good practice.
Well, I just found out that when I turn mine off in the house, it doesn't turn off the outside faucets.
Mm.
Mine same way.
I did not know that. I just assumed that when it was turned off at the house, it turned off everything.
I better go and turn off that side.
But everybody has to take care of their own stuff, but
Yeah.
buy policy, stated policy, when new house installs come in, the plumbers know they're supposed to put a cutoff valve somewhere.
Right.
And we probably have some of it done. So, this isn't a cost change. This is just an idea that we're gonna do a policy change.
Mhm.
So the practice of going inactive on a meter. And I understand, and there's a component there that we want to be small town friendly, we want to be, we want to be that accommodating to do those things, but on the other hand, there's a finite number of, it's not a, it's, we. By being, looked for it, area of look for the policy statement, there's really not one. They've been a practice that sort of people knew, others didn't, so. I don't like it because it's inconsistently available. That's something that we need that I personally want to strive against, and the city needs to eliminate that sort of thing. But, that's something that we can just stop hitting inactive status on meters. And, if you want to cut off your meter, if you want to say, hey, I'm gonna be gone for 3 months, then that's a horse of a different wheelbase. That is, you want us to do your final bill. You want us to get into your deposit, you want us to your meter to be yanked, and then when you come back, you're gonna reestablish account. That's a lot of hassle for the customers,
Mhm.
and it's actually physically a lot of hassle for our personnel.
Mhm.
And so we want to avoid that. So, maybe in the broad scheme of things, we need to take a look at what minimum bill is. And then take a look at that. We conveniently charge garbage and of course sewer is a direct rate of the water. That's a pretty direct thing. So if you wanted to put in a sprinkler system, you certainly don't. We want people to put in sprinkler systems. We want to sell you the water. We want the town looking great.
Mhm.
So, but you have to go a separate meter, and when you go minimum charge on a sprinkler only meter, that minimum charge is going to be less because the other components aren't in there.
That's right.
So that's kind of the ask of office and operations both. And I have to say that it's consistent with the principle that it's the proper thing to do is to charge for system capability. And I think it's very consistent and a good ask, and I value your opinions on that.
We put it out there, they'll get an opinion pretty quick.
Well, and
I mean,
yeah,
council, you're gonna have some opinions there, but that's what we should do.
and I think we need to take a hard look at. And Steve, I found you being the champion of this thought. And I value that a lot. For people who are on fixed incomes. And the people who have problems paying their monthly bill, life has a way of beating you up, and we don't want to have layers upon layers of charges and fees and gotchas, and just makes a situation like
Yeah,
that more difficult. Now, if people are in the detail stuff done, be really nice for them to sign up on a problem. I did. On it, that, hey, you got to pay this bill a couple times, we do have it, and I just gave it, did it off the checking account, and that's been years ago, and that's the way to go.
That's the way to go.
It is the way
I
to go.
agree.
And our system,
I don't.
our systems are audited, the Russians do not have your account numbers, they come into our commercial system.
Yeah,
And I feel a lot better about that than I did, say, 10 years ago. But I think I'll recommend that pathway for everyone to do that.
so this goes to the council, we're making review it,
Yeah.
and we'll change it, tinker with it.
So I think the report out to the council is that we're talking about the different things and they can come back and watch these conversations if they will. And then we can consider it in the broad scheme of the overarching cost. But if we're really looking at getting our costs aligned where they need to be, we gotta look at the whole package.
yep, great.
Okay,
Okay.
so I'm gonna go back to the motion. So what is the actual recommendation to the council? Is it what has been presented here? Or what? I mean, we've talked about several different things.
I would say that we present to the council the 2 pages that was presented to us, and that we are in agreement that it should be considered as part of the rates. Does it sound right?
Well, we're gonna be coming out with after Bobby's, Mr. Miller's rate study. We'll have some more information.
Yep, that's gonna be, he's gonna come,
What's the time frame on that?
I've got some notes from him and then he'll be at the December meeting.
Or are you gonna wait about recommending this?
I don't mind and we can.
I'm just
speed-
saying.
I'll have to. I mean, it's all the topic. I mean, keeping them in the loop, but we've talked about it here. Giving them this for information without any request for action to think about, so they can roll it over and, you know, maybe talk. And be comfortable with these changes.
Yeah,
And then come along later with any recommendations that may come out of the other and they can enact it. Who knows? It, somebody, hey, listen, the council's elected. If somebody gets. Really understands it and likes it, they could make a motion to go ahead and enact that now.
right.
And it would take some work to do that. But if we're turning around and we're gonna be presented. A rate study and say maybe in January, our January meeting or February meeting, turn around and say, hey, there's gonna be our rate changes to Bruce's point, I think. Wouldn't you consider it all together? But I think the sooner the council gets these ideas and be able to get some citizen feedback. And the citizen feedback is, you know, it's increasing cost.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna be for increasing costs, but I think everybody's gonna be
Yeah.
for a more, I don't want.
I just hope Mr. Miller or Dr. Miller has considered all the stuff that we talked about.
Mhm.
The increased usage as well as these things. And again, look at our heavy users. And make sure we're not winding up selling them water for
Right.
less than it costs us to make it. And so we may need to look at those rates. And if we do, then if that's 75% of your water use, then what does that do to the system? So there's a lot of variables out there and you just can't jump to cause and effect when you haven't walked through and looked at those sometimes in extraneous variables, but looked at all those variables because all of that needs to come into consideration.
He will take that into consideration. Yeah, Carrie, with the new system. Does this need to be implemented so that you can load the system accordingly to put these prices out on the bills and everything?
They can update it because it won't happen until like June of next year. So we have some time
Okay,
to get it lined out.
okay. So that's not a critical.
No,
All right, I just didn't, we're pushing the same envelope at work and I don't wanna wait in the middle of next year to approve something that should have been done
Right.
now, so. Okay,
When do we do the CPI adjustment on water rates?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another one.
Yeah.
That's all that's in the ordinance. So
That's another
Yeah.
thing that's coming, that's that.
And we don't need to lose it. I mean,
So
it's-
next month I'll get this, put some to
And I did want to say one other thing. About when we're talking about shut offs being installed. We did talk about an incentive for people to get one, like if someone called us and they don't have a shut off. And we shut it off for them,
Mhm,
you know, we charge them, you know, because that's
Mhm.
what one of the charges is.
mhm.
If they show proof that they installed a shut off, we can live. We talk. something like that.
Here. I think that's,
Mhm.
thank you, Bobby. That's
Okay.
that's a grand idea. So I'm gonna dig a hole in my yard and I can call you to come do it.
Yeah, whatever.
And you come out
You
there.
install one,
If I'll be snappy about it, you'll turn it back on for me too.
there you go.
Okay.
But anyway, that was discussed too, so I mean, that's to get people to start putting them in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We do this, I guess, the next,
Is it gonna cause a quorum problem or anything if I have to step?
no,
away?
it will not.
Mhm.
No, okay, no, we're good. We gotta have three, so.
Okay.
All right, a quick question on the agenda is the clean water program. Where are we? Has Chad been notified that we're wanting to do the rest of those streets or not? Or are we waiting until we prove how much cost we got and funds for that additional amount of money we left in the?
One of them was like 32,000 over what we
Yeah,
thought.
something
And
like that.
so we were gonna go back and see what he could do without
I thought-
including.
I
that.
thought-
We had talked about Arizona, I think, when that, is it
No, not
right? No,
Arizona,
not Little Rock.
Atlanta and
Rob.
Little.
Little Rock, yeah.
To do the whole thing was like
Yeah, it was
well
like,
over 100 more than we
right, and then we talked
Yeah.
about not doing Atlanta, but doing all of that, whatever.
ever really
I
got.
don't know if we did that.
Didn't say that to me.
Let's talk to him. I don't know if he said anything or not. I can ask him.
We talked about maybe trying to do it Little Rock up to the Y because we
Yeah.
know there
Right.
are 3 or 4 folks in there that had at least verbally said they would like to have
I,
water.
I honestly think he's got that data put together. And we probably, we need to take all these things we've talked about, get a good summary so we can take a sharper set of eyes and finally figure out the course of action on that. And the clock's ticking. So we should be able to get that in your hands before the December meeting. To consider.
I just wasn't sure where we had ended up with
We
it.
dang near talked that with the dad.
Yeah.
And we identified some extra options. And I think he's done those, but we haven't come up with a good summary. There was one in a email that was partial. I think there's one more to be added, and heck, he's pretty sharp on that stuff. He probably summarized it. We probably been neglectful in getting that in front of us. So we can go ahead
Yeah.
and put that one out. I think we've talked all the way around, but we're
Yeah.
partial on that. All the way around Calvert city limits on that.
Almost as bad as a PVA.
Yeah.
We need to get that settled. Name will food.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do, I'm going to, rather than go through this talking points from Bob on this, I don't think there's. It just kind of talks about how much he's got done, where he is. And what he and I have talked about and done some things that are all subject for discussion and changes and all of that. So I think what I will do is make a copy of this and forward it to each of you just to read through and see where it is. But his plans are is to talk about is to have it all prepared and ready to present to us at the next December meeting. So he's already got his plan set to come here. And I think he wants to go to the hay and restaurant meet. So
Be fine too.
so I think that'll move that along.
Do we ever?
That's still on hold.
You got it?
You sent it to
Oh, did I?
We've got it marked out.
So has our property issues with the owner or anything or still?
Maybe
It's,
Yeah, okay, good.
and it'll be on him. So we gotta figure out what we're gonna do.
Okay. Okay.
I actually don't see anything really happening really good. After this, it's, you don't want to do it, it's freezing outside. So I doubt anything happens with that.
Yeah.
Right into it.
Cross our fingers, we don't get a line busted in there or whatever.
No.
Yeah.
We've got the other item discussions to looking ahead. We've talked about a lot of it, the future growth, water and sewer service. I still don't know, have an update on Kentucky Dam Village, that's still there to get some information together. I think Chad may be working on that. Get back with us. And then I guess we've still got the Sapper Lakes meter box installation.
That's what we was talking about.
Still need to talk to him.
We still need to,
Yeah, we need to get that one off the books too.
Mhm.
I mean, and again, I know it's a problem with the easement and above our pay grades. We defer that to the mayor or somebody.
Well, we've got, we have Chad with Bunnings. And he's building contacts with the engineering firm. I haven't had an update on it in, the last little bit. About where it's gotten to. So we got all those questions, taken care of, then, it'll be into negotiation land.
Could you have anything you want to bring up for you?
No, sir, I don't think so.
You said 5:30, it's 5:32.
Yeah. And I was just wanting to make sure we weren't gonna get into anything else to him, but yeah, I've got to be at another commitment at about 6, so.
I understand.
Any other questions, Steve?
No, I mean, I guess we can, if we're gonna go, I mean, the city can get an easement, we're providing the service.
What?
And like rural electric, if they give you power, they got an easement. Signing
Well,
contract.
that's been the hang up all along. So there's been a line there for a long time
Mhm.
and it's established.
Mhm.
So the way this is handled, if you service the line, then you can use that easement.
That's right,
Somebody can jack your around later,
that's right.
but the installation of a meter, what size? I always get it wrong. 4-inch meter ball is a pretty big spot, even outside dimensions.
Yeah, it's like a 6x7, 6x8.
Is it,
Kind of
is it ground level?
Yeah,
So it'll be ground level
big ground
and
level.
it'll be weight supported on top.
Mhm.
It's just a matter of you are in a situation there where that probably, if somebody wanted to call your hands at that. They want to negotiate an easement. And so. Some of the
There's a
size.
line running to the meter needed, is it crossing over in a property line?
It's on the property line. It's actually on,
The line's already on the property line?
the line is actually on the customer side. It's not on Cypress Lakes' side of the property.
Okay.
And the particular land is just farm with no water. Tiny.
No, it's not any buildings or anything.
No, it's just a field and it's just an open area.
So, but it does front the water line, so there's really. You say, okay, we'll swap you a tie-in here or whatever, that we would anyway. You maybe offer them to save a tap fee.
Where's the fire hydrants out there?
There's one right there at right at their entrance, little ways up, and then the next one ain't till like 200, 300 feet up into the park.
It might be something that's a little bit of a benefit, you know.
There's another one. Along Highway 62, that's quite a ways up the road.
Mhm.
It's on the other side.
What's that?
The fire hydrant's on the other side.
Yeah, the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the second one's up where we're in building, it's like right beside a camper.
No, I'm talking about from 62 down toward
Oh.
Medi's, there's one on the
Yeah.
opposite side of the road.
Yes, cause that line goes down and crosses over.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But it's just a conversation. So you go and you seek advice. Oh, I just put it in. Well, that's fine for you to say we didn't have to do it. And that's really been a quandary.
Mhm.
That's been, and so we decided to back up and paid for a survey, and the surveys happened. Now it's time to have a conversation.
I think that's everything on my list or on the agenda. Entertain a motion.
Second.
Motion is second to, let the paper say, so I.
Meeting adjourned.
Linda needs to go to the play or whatever.
You got boys?
Yeah, play. Hamilton's.
So, one thing. And I don't know the answer to this.